Hi, my name is Rahul Matthew. Today I'm going to show you a demo of a WPF MVVM application made with PRISM. And for the backend, we are using Web API. So let's see the application first, then we will take a look at the application and the architecture of the application and the web service. So let's run the web service. Now let's run the application. So if you want to close, you can close. That works. Alright, so let's log in. So for now we have two modules. I'll be adding the rest of the modules later. So we have catalog, we have members. So let's see catalog first. You can search the catalog by title or the publisher, category, ISBN. By the way, this is a custom control, that's a custom control, and this is a regular WPF list box. All these are custom styled. I'm not using any third party, but these are custom styled. So let's see, let's take a book and edit. Let's see, increase the stock to 3. You can change the order, scholastic, the category, that's the publisher, by the date, the price. Now let's see. So we have 3, the price got increased. So we were able to update our catalog. You can also do some sorting. Let's search by title. So let's say Hardy Boys. You can search by the order. You can also do by the publisher, pocketbooks. You can also do sorting by price. Let's see which is the highest book in the library, which is the costliest book in the library. So we have head first design patterns, which cost around $63. Or you can sort by the lowest, the cheapest one, $2.99. We can sort by the date, the entry date. So this is the recent book or the oldest book. We can also sort by the stock, high, maximum. So we have this cracking the coding interview, 6 items in stock, or by the lowest. We can do the sorting by authors, ascending, descending, publisher, ascending, descending. So all that works. Now let's see view authors. So we have a list of authors. You can search for an author. We can also sort the authors. So that works. You can also add an author if you want to, but it validates, so you have to put some other name. So that's nice. So let's see how the members work. So members, you can search by name and email. So let's search for some person, John. Let's search for some email. You have it. If you want to edit, you can edit. So you have the date of birth, email, phone number, the registration date. And if you want to cancel the member, you can do that. You can uncheck it and select the date. Let's edit some other person. George. Let's see, George. Let's put full name George Thomas. So we have George Thomas here. Now if you want to add a new member to the library, we can do that. Let's do that. Add member. Let's say we can add Frank. Let's choose date of birth. Let's say 1979 Jan 17th. Let's try to click save. So it needs the email ID, so the validation works. Let's try this. Let's put Frank and try to save. So the email is invalid. So validation works. So we have validation at client side and at server side. Let's add some phone number. Let's select the is active, and now let's click save. We have it. Beautiful. And if you want to deactivate a person, let's say Tom. Click edit, uncheck him. Let's say he deactivated today. Let's click save. So Tom got deactivated. So let's see your two items now. The oldest person who canceled the membership is John. The recent one is Tom. You can also sort by registration date. Cool. So let's log out. Now let's take a look at the application. So this is a PRISM application. So you can see PRISM registration. IAM module. This is where we do the PRISM registrations for the views and the interfaces, where we map our interface to the concrete types. This is our main application, so it's a PRISM application, so there's a shell window. This is a regular WPF PRISM, WPF ribbon library. This is our login window. And we have app.saml file. So this is a very recent version of PRISM. On initialized, you're registering the types. Beautiful. We also have infrastructure to handle the ribbon. We also have our entities, say catalog model. So this is the bindable base of PRISM. We also are using data annotations to validate. And the validation, you can see it's not done by the view model. So catalog view model doesn't do any validation at all. There is no API calls, nothing. All the API calls are done through commands. And all of these are asynchronous calls so that we don't block the UI thread. And we are programming to the interface. And so where we do the validation, we'll do the validation here. And we'll make use of data annotations to validate. because it does a better job at validation. You don't need to write a lot of code for that. So let's take a look at the command. So save command. There's a class called async command base, which inherits from the I command. And we are injecting our catalog data service, iLogger service, and we are making all the API calls. We're validating the model. If it is success, we go and call the API to save it. So let's take a look at the catalog, save catalog. This is the validator. Catalog data service. And here we make the call to the database. I'm using a library called REST client. We can make our own if you want to. And we are logging everything in case of an error. Same with the, so let's take another example. Load catalog view. So remember, in load catalog view, we have 3 drop downs to load the authors, the publishers, and the category. The reason why it loads very fast is because we are dispatching 3 tasks at the same time, asynchronous. So we are making the best of all features available. Now let's see how the web service works. So the web service is made using ASP.NET Web API, and let's see how it works. I've implemented repository pattern for this project. So let's see how the login module works. So this is the login service API, which only handles login. Catalog will handle only catalog. So there is separation of concern. Category handles category. So let's see how the login service API works. The login service API, if we take a look at it, it doesn't know what's your business layer, because we programmed an interface. So we have decoupled the business layer with the API itself. It doesn't know whether you're using Entity Framework or AD or .NET or NoSQL. It doesn't know anything about it. So these changes won't affect our system. So how does it, since this is an interface, how does it work? Let's see. So we need a dependency injector. So for this project, I'm using AutoFac. AutoFac works well with Web API. So in the start config file, this is our dependency resolver. AutoFac Web API dependency resolver. This is where we do the registration. So AutoFac will take care of the registrations and injecting. This is the Web API configuration. So my response type is JSON. Now let's take a look at the business layer. So let's see an interface. So iLogin service API, as you remember, we have 2 of them: authenticate user and logout user. So here, iLogin service API, that's the interface. Our response type is API response model. We always send back an API response model. We only expose models. We don't expose any entities. This is where we do the data annotations for validation for server side. Now, if we take a look at the business layer, we implement the iLogin service API. All these are interfaces. We have automapper to map the entities to model and model to entities. We also have an error logging system. We have validators to validate the models. So in case of authentication, we pass the login model, we will validate it. If we have an error, we'll send back the error. Else we'll log in, try to log in, we'll try to map the, we'll pass the model object to the automapper and it'll return back the actual entity, and we'll pass it to the data access layer. But the data access layer, our business layer doesn't know what data access layer it is using. It doesn't know. See, there is no reference to entity framework or anything. It doesn't know anything. This way we are abstracting those things, and our business layer will be protected from future changes due to a change in data access layer. It will not affect our business layer. With minimal changes, we can switch over to a different data access layer technology altogether. That's the beauty of this architecture. We have a logging service. First, we try to log into a database. If that is failing, then we have a fallback option. We'll save it to the file. So we'll see that. So let's see first how data access layer works. Say for example, I log in DAL. Since we are using repository pattern, we are having this. This is where we make a call to the database. And in case of an error, we'll just log into the database itself. And if you take a look at this, this is a standard repository pattern implementation. You have unit of work in your base cluster repository, so we can make use of all the entity framework methods. And let's see our error fallback. Oh, I forgot to mention the registrations. So we have mappings profile that will handle the mapping from models to entities and entities to model. We have module config file for mapping our interface with concrete types. And we have all our validators. So let's see how the error logging system works. First we try to save it to the database. Here you can see IEF common unit of work. And here you can see IEF library management system unit of work. Two different interfaces. That's because error logging service is part of common database. Catalog is part of library management database. So in the catalog if DAL, we are making a call to the log error in case of an error. So it comes over here, tries to save it. If that throws an error, so if the database itself is down, we have a fallback. So we'll throw an exception. And here we will use our logger and log to the data into the file system of the server. So here is a log writer. We will save it to the file logger. As a JSON data, we save it. Let's see if we have some error. I don't have any yet. So in the future, I will add the rest of the modules and I'll update the demo. So, okay, have a nice day. Bye bye.